Hi everyone, thank you and welcome to our next session of online training. My name is Michael, and today I will show you how to work with our software Let's Trip Studio effectively. With me here is also another Michael, who, as I've said in an invitation, is a main developer of the software. And we will jump straight into a very short presentation that we have prepared for you about our company, about Let's Trip Studio. What is Let's Trip Studio? For those of you who are not familiar, we are a company that makes LED controllers and LED installations. Here are a few examples of our work which we've made all around the world. These are few clubs here in Bratislava which we've made and that we are very proud of. All the LED parts that you can see here are controlled with our software and our controllers. A big part of our company and our work is working for TV studios and different TV shows. So all these that you can see here, we've done in the past. One that we are probably most proud of is the Eurovision Song Contest, which is the big picture in the presentation. And we've also done some buildings. This one here is in Estonia, Noviera Plaza, and we are very proud of that. And these are some other more advanced or more crazy stuff that we have done. We are working with LED costume dancers, if you can say so. We've got a few different groups that dance all around the world, and the show that you can see on the costumes is also controlled with Let's Trip Studio. You've got an amazing feature there where you can create music synchronized shows. And top right corner, this is Chevrolet Camaro, a car that we've done in Saudi Arabia, and it was also controlled with our software. Pretty crazy project, that one. So, without further ado, we can jump right into the stuff that we will be working on today. Here you can see our typical workflow, how we work. First, of course, you install the LED strips in whatever setup that you need. Then you will create a mapping. That is actually what we will be doing today. And then you will create some content, which you will then play on the LED strips that you have installed. Here you can see for what you can actually use the Let's Trip Studio software. You can use it as a mapping software. With ArtNet, you can use any kind of controller. You don't really have to use our controllers, although it would be very nice if you will do so. You can use it as a content player. You can create different animations there. And as I've said, you can also use it to music synchronized shows. This is the controller that we are actually working with today. It's a SPI Matrix, our flagship in regards to the ArtNet. It can control 4096 pixels, which is quite a lot, and that means 24 full ArtNet universes. You got 4 SPI outputs and an advanced web configuration tool. Now you have an opportunity, and we will be talking about that also later, to buy this controller with 6 ArtNet universes included. What we will actually attempt today, if you can maybe Michael switch to the bars. Today we will attempt to map these LED bars that we have here. I will show you how you can map them through our ArtNet ecosystem. So this is the scheme, so that you can see how the bars are actually connected. The first bar on the left starts at the bottom, the signal starts at the bottom, and then you got on the second output, you got the bar on the right, and so and so. We are using with our devices a default IP address, which ends with 147. And I can show you how you can actually search for the device within our software. So we will jump straight into the software. So right now I have this mapping created already in Let's Trip Studio. I've got the different animations, and you can see that I am changing those on the LED bars. I've got some video also here. So everything is working okay. first thing that you have to do to create a new mapping is to open a new project. So you will go to File, hit on New. We can save this one, and this is the blank workspace that you will start to work with. You can actually put a default animation here, video animation. This will actually help you once you will start to map any strips or bars to see if you are doing it correctly. I will explain that later. And we can set some color. Red is always nice. Now, as soon as I will put the first strip down in the mapping, we will see that it is red, so everything should be okay. To start mapping, you will go, obviously, into the mapping tool. Here you can see a lot of tools that can help you create precise mapping. If you will have questions in regards to any of these tools, write them in a YouTube chat. When you are working with digital strips, you have to add new digital strip. You also got an option to add analog strip. Before that, if you have a ArtNet device connected on your network, you can hit on Search for ArtNet devices, and once it will find a device on the network, it will add it automatically here in a ArtNet section. So you can see two devices, 147. The IP address 147 is the one that we will be working with, so we can delete the other one. We will add new digital strip, and with a plus button, we will start to draw the lines which represent our LED strips. When I will jump back into the presentation, this is our scheme. So the first output, the first bar, starts at the bottom and goes all the way to the top. So with the plus button, I will draw the first line. This little arrow here, you can zoom in on it a bit, shows the flow of the signal. Once you have the strip drawn, you can change the number of LEDs that are actually in this bar. Each of these bars that we are working with has 64 diodes. So you can change the number, and you will have 64 diodes in the first strip. What you have to do now is to take this strip and drag and drop it into your ArtNet device. Now a pop-up will appear, and you have to set up few settings. Starting DMX address, starting universe. First output has 1 to 6 ArtNet universes. So we will select universe 1, starting DMX address 1. Since the bars that we are working with today are RGBW, you can also see down here, we have to tick on use for channels. And you can see that the bar is already red. So it's actually playing the animation that we have created at the beginning. Now if I will go back to the scheme, we got a second output, which is also again a single bar. The signal goes from the bottom to the top. So with a add new digital strip, we will add new strip. With the plus button, we will draw it. Again, it goes from the bottom to the top. You can see the signal flow here. And the software remembers previous setting for the number of diodes in the curve. So we have 64, which is okay. Now we will take the digital strip, add it into the ArtNet device, And again, we have to change starting DMX address and universe. For output 2, the starting universe is 7. So we will put 7 here. And the starting DMX address, since we are in a new universe, will be 1. And once again, tick on Use for Channels. And you can see the bar is already red. Now a bit more complicated stuff. In the scheme on the third output, I have 4 bars. They are zigzag. So the first bar starts here, goes all the way to the left, jumps to the next bar, to the right, and like this to the top. So I will once again add new digital strip and start the drawing. And I have 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will take the strip, drag and drop it into ArtNet device, and I will check again. My third output starts at the 13th universe, and the starting DMX address is 1. Click on Use for Channels in case that you are working with RGBW strips or bars or whatever. And voila, we've got top 4 bars. And for the last output, or for the last group of 4 bars, we are again starting at the bottom, again zigzag. You can actually use a tool which will draw multiple lines. So you don't have to draw each line, but you can draw multiple lines. If you will select Add Basic Shapes and Horizontal Lines, and you have a digital strip where you want to draw, select it. You will just like this draw multiple lines, and you will put in number of lines. We have 4 bars, and number of LEDs in each line. We have 64 in each line. And once again, drag and drop into our ArtNet device. Starting a DMX address could be 1, starting universe is 19. And now we should have all the bars mapped within the Let's Strip Studio ArtNet section. It can happen to you that you will set up something incorrectly. Let's say that you did not put starting universe correctly. You will put first universe. You can see here that the soft actually tells you that the universes are overlapping now. So something is wrong. This is a hint for you to set it up to correct value. Once you've done it, it's not red anymore, so it's mapped correctly. So if you want to select the segment to check if it's properly mapped or if you have it correctly in the software, you will select this tool here, select highlight. You will pick any color that you want. Let's say this nice pink color. And now, if I will select any segment in the mapping, it will be highlighted. So each segment will be highlighted separately. So this way you can check if you have all the segments in the mapping. Good one. Yes, of course you can. Let's Strip Studio allows you to use any kind of device which is able to work with ArtNet protocol. So you can buy a third-party controller and hook it up to our software. All you need is a license for the number of universes that you will be working with. By the number of universes, I mean how many LED strips you want to use, how many pixels you will be working with. Next part of the presentation of the training, which is how you can create animations for your strips. So right now I am playing a default video animation, but to add a new one, you will go into the scenes section in the software, and with add strip you will add a new strip animation or new strip effect. And here you have a library of 100 plus effects that you can use for your strips. With a simple drag and drop, you can add it onto your strip. And if you want to add the same animation onto all of the strips, you again drag and drop onto the segments. You really have a lot of animations here, which you can choose from. You also got an option to create your own animation. Although we do doubt that you will do that ever, we can show you how to create a very, very simple one right now. Here you can also copy the animations, and I will show you that you can also highlight all the segments, and with the plus button you will add it onto all the strips. So this is also one way how to add one animation onto all strips. But back to the creation or to the customization of your animations. Okay, I can actually select all, add the animation, and in the settings, this is the animation editor. I will just play white color here. And I will put it onto all strips. This window here is your editor for keyframes. So this is the animation in time. With a simple double click, you can add another keyframe. So now the animation will go from white to dark. Here you got an editor for colors. So right now I have white color here. If I will click on the color editor or color picker, you can pick any color that you want, and it is immediately displayed on the strips. You can change also the RGB values, the amount of blue, etc. Now if I will add a new keyframe, I can choose a different color. So now on these 4 bars you can see, okay, this is not a good combination, like this. So the animation starts with yellow and goes all the way to this nice color. If I will delete this keyframe, right click on the strip editor and click on create default animation, you can see on the strips that it is now going from the colors that I have selected. So this is already a pretty nice animation. These kinds of animations looks the best on a long strip, on a long segment. It is nice on the bars, but if you will have a strip which will be several meters long, it will look even more even more awesome. So this is how you can create a default animation. But once again, you got a ton of animations that you can adjust, customize in the animation library. So we will just select the strips that you want to put it on, drag and drop it onto your strips, and then in the settings you can customize it anyhow you want. I think that is enough for the animations. We have some advanced settings which we can maybe show later, but I think that we want to go through the presentation, through the training for some other more advanced animations that you can use. So this was the strip animation. You got also an option to add a video animation. And here you got really a ton of options. Do we have it on the software? Great. These are the options that you can use. Video, this will add a video. We have one prepared here. You will simply find the video that you want to display on the bars, and to adjust the size, you can resize it and move it where you need. Is it visible? Oh, great. As Michael would say, fire is always nice on the LED strips. There is another way how to add a video effect, which is simple drag and drop. So you've got a folder with some videos that you want to play, and you will drag and drop it, and it will start to play immediately. Again, if you want to change how the video is displayed on the strips, you will click on this little pencil here, which will open the settings, and you have the option to resize the effect so that it will fit exactly your strips. You can see that the left bar is actually turned off now. That's because I moved it from the video, and it's back. So like this, you will customize the size. If I will add new video effect or video scene, you will see that there is an option to add text. Very simple tool. You will simply write whatever you want to display, resize it, and you've got an option for static or scrolling text. We don't have a lot of pixels here, so you can't really see the text, but if you will have strips more dense, then you will be able to see it. You can change the speed and set font. So this is quite straightforward effect. Another option that you have when working with video effects is to simply put on an image through your LED strips. Again, pretty straightforward. I've mentioned previously when I was talking about a Reactivo controller that you can use a screen grabber. You got actually two options in Let's Strip Studio how you can grab a screen, a monitor. You can simply create a screen grabber effect, or maybe some of you are familiar with Blackmagic grabbing cards. These are usually used for some big projects. We've done several of those for some TV studios. They set up the screen from which they want to grab the content and send it onto LED screens or LED strips. but you can also create a screen grabber locally, and this will actually grab the content of your monitor. Here you are setting up the position of the grabber and also the two important parameters, which is width and height. So if I will put a full screen resolution here of my monitor, you can see that when I will move with this window, that it is actually sending onto LED bars. So you can use a screen grabber effect even with LED Strip Studio. Last but not least, you can use color effects. Once you will add a color effect, you can choose from different gradients. Right now I have a conical gradient, so you can see that there is this sort of circle going around, well, not circle, but you can see what is actually happening on the bars. And what is very nice, you can edit the effect, so you can add different colors. But you can also choose any animation that you have in the library. Again, you will simply drag and drop it, or a simple click will also work. So very nice effect. Once again, you can move with the effect as you like or as you need. So let's say we want to put it only on the horizontal bars, and it's displayed only there. If it's too fast for you, you can change the duration, which will slow down the effect. And you can move it freely around as you need. So this was the conical gradient, and we can go through other options that you have. This will sort of create these outward going circles, and you can also change how many circles are actually with this in this editor, how many circles are actually there. So if I will stretch it like this, it will create a very nice effect of circles going outwards on all the strips. This is my personal favorite, in case it is an interesting information for you. So you got a radial gradient, linear gradient, simple animation. If you want to change the direction, so let's say you want that the animation will go from the bottom to the top, this is how you do it. And the rectangular gradient, you got rectangles going outwards from the middle to the sides. So you got a lot of creative options how to create a custom and, in our opinion, very nice animations in LED Strip Studio. You also got some adjustments here down in the second tab, and here you really got a lot of options how to even more customize your effects. You can put down the saturation or crank it up, change the contrast, and really a lot of options. If you have and brightness, which you can do for each effect separately here in the adjustments. But let's say that I want to have these rectangles in the middle on the horizontal lines, and I want to have some other animation on the bars, on the vertical bars on the sides. So you can simply add new layer. Right now it's through all my bars, but I can resize it so it will be only on my left bar. Black and white is nice, but I do like colors. And like this, you will add new layer, and you will have a different animation on the bars in the middle and on the one on the side. You can Control-C, Control-V the effect, and move it onto the other bar. So you got these sort of layers all within one effect, where you can put different effects on different bars, on different segments or strips. So what you can do is you can create your own animation. Thank you, Michael, for reminding me. We will call it was it Knight or Knight? Knight Rider. He was Michael Knight, okay. Yes, so you want to add it into the library, my Knight. So here is my custom animation that I have created. Like this. You can add it onto any strips that you want. We will actually change the color back to white. With these live controls, you can actually change the color if you want. And what you can do now with the animation, you can, your own custom animation, you can add it into video effect. If you will go into the choose palette, that will open the animation library, and at the bottom we will have our Knight Rider effect. And we can maybe extend it a bit. And this is a pretty nice effect, which you can create. And if you want to change the direction, so it will go from the bottom to the top and all the way back, you can do it here in the editor. If you want to have more lines, you will move with this point, but probably this looks the best. If you will hit or if you will hold Control, you will have this grid so that you can draw a straight line. This is how you can create a music synchronized shows. If you remember, I showed you that we have another project within Let's Strip Studio, which are LED dancers. The show on their costumes is synchronized with music. And you can create one such show in Let's Strip Studio. Are there any questions, Mike? No? Not in regards to this? So you can simply put a song here on the timeline and put different effects, then export the show, and through, let's say, Wi-Fi DMX, you can play it on your LED costumes. So let's say you have different animations here, and you want to put them on your timeline. So we will drag and drop. You can create a new line and drop second effect. If you want to extend it, you will hold the right button on your mouse, and like this you can extend the effect. So you can put multiple effects. You can also use video effects. If you will check the preview here, once I will play the show, okay, for that I need music. If you want to add the music, you will hit on Browse here in Audio. You will find a folder, a sound clip that you want to use for the show, and you will hit Open. It will actually change the format to WAV, and you can see already in the timeline your music. What is actually great on this show tool or show creator tool, you can see the beats, so you can time your effects precisely. If I will turn on the volume, with the space, you will play the show, and if you can see and also hear, that when I am moving with the effect, that it plays a small bit of the music, and you can zoom in, of course, and you can position the effect exactly where you want. Make it larger, bigger, whatever. Do we have also the bars on the display, Mike? Can we change? And we can add some more effects. Which one we didn't use? This one. And we will play it. Nice music. If you also got an option to fade the effect, so if you will double click in the scene, you will have this curve here, so this is actually your fade. If I will play the effect now, you will see that from this point it will fade out, and you can put as many fades as you want into the scene. Maybe some of you do want to create shows like this, so this is a perfect tool to do that within Let's Root Studio software. If you want to select what type of IC, of chip you are using, you can do that. You can do that if you are working with our software, our protocol. You can do that in the mapping here. But once you are working with ArtNet, you have to actually open something that we call web configuration tool. It is a HTML page which is in the controller, and to open it you have to go into your web browser and type in the IP address of your device. I've said at the beginning that in default our devices have 147 at the end of the IP address. So if you did not change it, just use 147 and you will open the web configuration tool. Here you got a ton of options, ton of settings that you can change. And in all settings, here, if you will scroll down a bit, you can select the outputs 1 to 4 and change the type of the strip of the IC that you are actually using. Right now we are using these our own bars, so we have selected a RGBD strip. I am sure that you want to check if you have selected a correct IC. For that, you have a testing function. If I will hit on red dimming and I will have a correct IC selected, my strips should play this red animation. You can go, of course, through red, green, blue to check the color order, and you also got some other effects. So this is the way how you can change the IC on your outputs and how to test it. If you are using our devices, let's say SPI Matrix, and you want to stop the testing, you have to click on Stop Test. Because otherwise it won't play any content from Let's Strip Studio, because testing mode has the highest priority. Sorry. So this is the way. Good question, thanks. So to add a picture, you have to go to Add Video, and here on Add Layer, you have to select Image. And again, you will find some image here. Hit on Open. You can see on the preview, also here, and also on the strips, Michael. So this is your picture. Once again, you can resize it, move it freely around to put it only on the portion where you want it. In the adjustments, you can change, if you have selected a picture or image, you can also change the contrast, so it will have more or less color, saturation, brightness. Now the thing with the camera is that it does not show the colors precisely as they are, so you are probably seeing a bit different colors. So this is the way how you can actually change it to the values that will actually show nice on the camera. So every time we are doing some installation in the TV, we have to actually play around these settings, so the colors will actually look great on the camera as well, not only in person. So that's it with the questions you're saying? All right. I do hope that you find this interesting, that you will use Let's Strip Studio software with ArtNet in your future projects. We are very eager to help you with any kind of project that you might have in the future. So if you will decide to use our software, we are very open to help you with any kind of project. You can find the link in the video description where you can actually buy ArtNet universes. Here I want to say that our software is unique in a way that you can buy the exact number of universes that you need for your project. So you are only paying for what you actually need. So if you will calculate in our software that you need 40 universes, that's for what you are paying. The license is for 1 year, and you can always add more universes. So if you will find out that you need more for your project or for more projects, there is no problem with that. You can always add more universes. We've got a ton of videos and tutorials on our page and on our YouTube, and you can always check them out. They are free, available to you. Check our products, maybe you will find them interesting. That's it, Mike. Okay, have a nice evening, and let's hope to see you on some project.